Uh, well, the main reason of the conflict then is basically um, the outcomes of the Soviet Union empire and collapse of Soviet Union. Abkhazia was included into Georgia by Stalin and Beria. So when Soviet Union collapsed, Abkhazia and Georgia, they found themselves in a kind of vacuum, legal vacuum, their relations. When Georgia, Abkhazia didn't oppose Georgia to become independent, we proposed Georgia civilized form of coexistence after the collapse of Soviet Union, and we realized that Soviet laws, according to which Abkhazia should be part of Georgia, are not existing anymore. That's why we proposed to that time Georgian government to review the basis of state legal relations between Abkhazia and Georgia. And actually, Abkhaz Parliament in 1992 sent an official letter where we said that we're ready to review state legal relations between Abkhazia and Georgia, because Georgia declined all Soviet laws. So that's how this legal vacuum appears. But unfortunately, the war started. But it was the time when newly independent states were trying to build their independent countries. And of course, politicians being communists were quite immature, including democratic states. That's why I believe the war started. I mean, it's a very interesting question. Basically, the position of Abkhaz government is full independence, and it's not position of the government. It was expressed by the people of Abkhazia at the referendum, and nobody's going to change the will expressed by Abkhaz people at the referendum in 1999 in November. There is a idea expressed by Abkhaz government on associative relations with Russia, but this is nothing concerning inclusion of Abkhazia into Russia. These associative relations, they presuppose some joint measures and cooperation in the field of border security, economic cooperation between Abkhazia and Russia through Krasnodar region, through south of Russia, and many other joint measures to improve stability and economic development in the region. But unfortunately, these ideas were incorrectly articulated and expressed. That's why many people believe that Abkhazia wants to be part of Russia. Though I can agree, and I tell you honestly, that there are some group of people in Abkhazia, and there is some kind of power, small power in Abkhazia, people who wants Abkhazia to become part of Russia, which is absolutely unacceptable and absolutely impossible. Well, our peace plan is we got no other way, but we got no other choice but to resolve the conflict peacefully. And Georgia is the neighbor of Abkhazia, given to us by God. We cannot remove Abkhazia from the Caucasus and put it somewhere else in the globe, as well as Georgia. We have to, in the sake of coming generations, we have to find a peaceful agreement with Georgia. We have to understand that old ineffective models of preservation of territorial integrity is not serving the common and modern desire of people in the region to develop independently, to develop their economy, to develop good relations with neighbors based on equal approach and respect to each other. Well, our peace plan to Georgia is we want to coexist together as two equal nations to equal countries and develop best good friendship, friendly and best good neighboring relations.
Today.
Well, the situation, economic situation, is Abkhazia is on the way of reforms. We're trying to implement many economic reforms. We already expressed that our intention is to develop tourism and agriculture. Abkhazia is the main income for Abkhazia is tourism and agriculture. We will lead negotiation process with Georgia, which is becoming more intensified during recent times. We try to develop good and more productive and mutually beneficial and effective relations with Russia. We do look for foreign investment into Abkhaz economy, and we're trying to establish favorable conditions for foreign investors. Abkhazia's future is bright, so Abkhazia will. We prove that we're self-sustainable. We live for over 13 in isolation. More than a decade we live in blockade, and even in this condition, with a regime of sanctions, we develop internal market slowly, very slowly, but still we going forward. And taking into consideration all these prospects, I think the future of Abkhazia, I believe so, and I'm sure it will be very bright, prosperous.
Okay, and the last. For example.
Well, it's not so dangerous. People go. Last year we have over 1 million tourists from Russia, and the number of tourists coming to Abkhazia is expanding each year. There is some low level of criminality, like in each tourist country. I mean, pickpockets and so. But in general, it's absolutely safe, and people come and they enjoy it. Unfortunately.